Okay, this is a quick video about some simple trig identities. So this will help you with that first assignment in the module of trig identities. So let's get into it. So you know your basic trig ratios. And I don't know what just happened there. Let's start over. So we got sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. And you have your reciprocal functions too. Cosecant would be hypotenuse over opposite. Secant would be hypotenuse over adjacent. And cotangent would be adjacent over opposite. Also some little identities that you would like. So that's the ratios. And then we can kind of use those and use some other properties to kind of build trig identities. It's a little more difficult, but we can use these ratios to create some identities. So cosecant would be the same as 1 over sine, right, if they're reciprocals. And that would be true for any of these. I mean, if we took tangent, tangent would be 1 over cotangent because they're reciprocals. So, I mean, just any combination of that cosine would be 1 over secant. So there's some simple identities. And if I can clear a little of this off, I'll share a few more identities with you, and that should be enough to get you started with that first lesson in the module. Tangent. Okay, tangent can also be defined as sine over cosine. Therefore, cotangent, if cotangent and tangent are reciprocals and tangent is sine over cosine, then wouldn't cotangent be the reciprocal of this and just be cosine over sine? So there's two important identities right there that you need to know. And if you're interested in where that comes from, that tangent equals sine over cosine, okay, well, we said sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And if we multiply by the reciprocal, cancel out the h's, we have opposite over adjacent, which is tangent. So all these identities that we're going to learn about, I mean, they all come from somewhere. It's not just a bunch of made-up junk. So remember that one. Tangent is sine over cosine, and cotangent is cosine over sine. And I'll share one more with you, kind of based around the Pythagorean theorem. And there's 3 of these that we're going to take a look at. But here's kind of a real popular identity. Sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1. So real important identity that we'll use as we go throughout this module. So keep record of that. Sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1. And it looks very much like the Pythagorean theorem, right? You got something squared plus something else squared. And, well, 1 squared is just 1, but it's all based around the Pythagorean theorem and the unit circle and all those concepts is what we would use to help prove these identities. So there's a big one. And everything that's been discussed in this video should help you with that first module exercise.